Mikel Arteta has an opportunity to do something that a lot of people criticise him for not doing. So it will be interesting to see if he does it tomorrow. We're going to speak about that. Also, of course, we're going to talk about the Arsenal versus PSV game. But also, William Saliba's come out and made a comments that I think have excited quite a lot of Arsenal fans. We're going to speak about it. Before we do, though, if you could do me a favour, hit like on the video. So, of course, Arsenal play PSV tomorrow night. And I want to ask people, as always, what is your score prediction? And if anyone's able to get it right, after the game in the breakdown video, I'll flash it up on screen so you can show everyone that you knew what the score was going to be. So in the comment section, let me know your Arsenal versus PSV score prediction. So what we're talking about is, there's two things I want to talk about with Arteta. First of all is the fact that he usually gets accused of not rotating his teams. And he gets accused of it because it's something he never does. Like, he had the opportunity last season a couple of times and he never took it. So it'll be interesting to see if he does do it this time around. Now, the thing that will be slightly more different is last season we was gunning for the Premier League, but at this stage you probably have to admit that the title's done. So the Champions League right now is Arsenal's most important competition. But with that being said, we still do need to rest players to keep them fit for the rest of the Premier League season, because if we're not careful, and I don't think we're there yet, we can find ourselves in a bit of a top four scrap, which is obviously what none of us want. But, you know, you're 7-1 up against PSV. There's no danger in switching the team around whatsoever. Like, the defence, I think you could change massively. There's some rest in midfield. I think the only area of the pitch that you're probably going to struggle to rotate is that forward line, just because we're so slim in those areas. Now, some people would say throw the kids on, and I would agree, put them on, but in the second half. I think you still have to start a strong enough squad. Not that there's any danger in PSV coming back. Now, look, it's not impossible, but I would be 99.99999% convinced that PSV are not going to come back in this tie, and then we just have to wait and see who we play in the next round. I'm hoping for Real Madrid. Let me know who you guys would like to play. But the other thing that Mikel Arteta has to be kind of mindful of is he's got some players coming back from injury, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to throw them in. I'm talking about Martinelli. Like, he could give him a start in this game, but more importantly for me, Big Benny Blanco, Ben White, we're yet to see him kind of get a run of fixtures since coming back from injury, and he did come out in his press conference and say Ben White is about there. We've had to manage his load very carefully coming back so he doesn't, so the injury doesn't reoccur. But he said he should be kind of ready for selection. So that would appear to me that he might just start him in this game. And that is good news, because I've always said for a long time, in Arsenal's best team, I have Ben White starting at right back. So I want to see Ben White start in this game. And that does lead you to the team selection. I think this is going to vary, like, different. Everyone's going to have a different idea on what they would do with the team selection. So I want you to let me know what is your team selection in the comment section. I would go for Neto in goal. I would go for Ben White at right back. I'd go for Timber right centre back. And I'd go for Kiwior left centre back. I think this is, like, you're going to have to rest your centre backs at some point. Yes, it's the Champions League. I'm sure Gabriel and Saliba both want to participate in this game, but they do need to be rested. So there's no better time to rest Saliba and Gabriel than this game here. So I would rest them and play Timber and Kiwior. Left back, Calafiori or Lewis Skelly. I think it's brilliant to give Lewis Skelly some Champions League minutes, if I'm being honest. We saw Calafiori start the last game, so why not start Lewis Skelly in the Champions League and let him play left back? In midfield, now there is so many different things you could do. I mean, Jorginho will start this game for sure, so it just depends where he's going to put him. I'd probably put Jorginho. I'd go Declan Rice, just because he seems like he's always available to play. Probably Odegaard, and then it's probably going to be Nwaneri, Trossard, and Mikel Merino up front. Or maybe he'll play Sterling. Actually, Sterling. Why not play Sterling? Sterling's done at the club. You need to rest Merino or Trossard, so it will be Sterling instead of one of them. So he's probably going to go Nwaneri, Sterling and Trossard up front, I would imagine. But let me know your guys' thoughts on what you think he's going to do with the team and what you would do with the team. And then you go into the next two games, which will be difficult games. You've got Chelsea and Fulham coming up. Both difficult fixtures. Chelsea, I think we've got a pretty good record against Chelsea recently, but they have been a decent team this season. They've been a bit on and off. Fulham, again, we always seem to struggle against Fulham, so you need to make sure your players are in the right position to hit those games and not lose. We can't afford to drop too many more points this season. Again, I'm not talking like we're in any kind of title race or anything like that, but we just need to stay consistent to get that second place in the Premier League. And yeah, if we rest some players in this game against PSV, then we should be absolutely fine for those games. I wanted to finish on these comments from William Saliba because he did come out in the press conference and have some interesting things to say that I'm seeing cause a bit of a stir online. And that is the fact that when he was kind of questioned about his contract and Arsenal, he was kind of saying, no, I've supported Arsenal since I was younger. I want to win trophies with Arsenal. So that will be a welcome sound to many Arsenal fans around the world who are starting to panic that we might start losing our best players like William Saliba, especially when you kind of hear them start to be mentioned with names like Real Madrid, and Fabrizio Romano is coming out and saying Real Madrid will make William Saliba their #1 priority this summer. Like, you do panic because it's Real Madrid and there will be an allure. There will be a head turning of Saliba if he hears Real Madrid wants to sign him, because it's almost guaranteed trophies for your career. There's obviously massive French players already playing at Real Madrid. You've got players like Mbappe. So I'm sure it is appealing to William Saliba. So for him to come out and say he wants to win trophies with Arsenal, he's been an Arsenal fan since he was younger. It's just something you like to hear from these kind of players. Now, I would like Saliba to sign a new contract, and I am hopeful that he will sign a new contract because, look, he's world class. We might not be able to hold on to William Saliba for his entire career. Now, if we start winning trophies and we become the team that a lot of us want us to be, then sure, I don't see why William Saliba wouldn't stay. Arsenal's still a massive club. They're not Real Madrid, if we're being honest. Look, I'm an Arsenal fan, lifelong Arsenal fan. I would love Arsenal to be as big as Real Madrid, but realistically, they're not. So you understand when players link to Real Madrid, you know that their head's going to be turned. So if Arsenal start winning and keep winning, there will be no reason for a player like Saliba to leave, because you're leaving a winning environment to go to another winning environment. So it's a bit of a sideward step in terms of trophies, hopefully, if we can get there. But yeah, if he can sign one more contract, it takes him up to late 20s, and then, yeah, you just have to kind of just see where you are. You might sign a new deal and Real Madrid come in with a stupid offer anyways. It wouldn't be the first time they've done it when players sign a new deal and then they come in with 130 million. I don't think that would be enough in today's market to tempt Arsenal in selling William Saliba. You would hope for, now look, I might just be being biased, but 200 million, I don't know what he would be worth in today's market, because there's no like-for-like replacement. So even if you do sell him for 200 million and you go and buy someone else, the level of player is not going to be as good. People are going to know that you've just got a fortune for your player, so they're going to charge you over 100 million for a replacement who's not going to be as good. So to me, look, I don't even want to think about Saliba leaving. Good to hear these words come out of his mouth, and I hope he stays with us forever, but that's probably not realistic. But let me know your guys' thoughts on the Arsenal versus PSV game. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to go for we're at home. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I still think no matter what team we put out there, it's going to be good enough. PSV are kind of stuck in the way that they play, in terms of they seem like a team that open up and want to create chances, but in doing that, they leave a lot of spaces. Defensively, we saw it in the first leg. They're poor. Like, Arsenal had so many opportunities to score goals. Like, every time we was attacking the box, there would be 4, 5, 6, 7 players at times attacking or crashing the box when Arsenal were on the attack, and that just led to so many chances. Will PSV do the same thing in this game? Probably, because we saw it. It was either last season or the season before. I think we beat them 4-0, and it was very much the same story of them being open, and their manager or their philosophy just means they want to play, so they do open up and leave gaps. And I think Arsenal, when a team come to play Arsenal, we've seen it time and time again. That's when Arsenal do their best stuff. The only time Arsenal struggle is when a team want to sit back, lock up shop, stick 5 or 6 players behind the ball and say, right, come and break us down. Then Arsenal start to run out of ideas. I don't think this game's going to be like that, but we shall see. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, do me a quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.